Evening all, and welcome back to Factory Town Grand Station, where I've left the game running for a while and we've managed to get animal feed all the way up here, and we've produced 2 boxes of eggs, which yeah, we don't have a train picking them up yet, but I'm not that fussed about that. I've been looking at the stations here. Like, what is it? This needs iron ore. We're screwed for iron ore, so I can ignore that one. This needs iron plates. This needs cotton and more cloth and stuff like that. I've been looking at these and thinking, well, maybe I should have some extra trains in for these. Either that, or I figure out the distance from there to here and add carriages on based on distance. That wouldn't work for like wooden planks here because the plank train could go wherever it wants to go, so that doesn't kind of work. But then I could signal. It becomes complicated, but I could signal tag it to say, hey, you are the train to come to this tag here, and tag that with the wooden wheels, for instance, so we know that train only ever comes out to the wooden wheels. That would kind of help here, because then we'd have one train doing animal feed for eggs and one train doing it for milk, rather than all the trains getting milk, because we no longer need the filters, the signal tags, because they're not needed back there because you have multiple filters. So rather than waiting for things to go along, I might have a look into that. I'm not sure. But what I've basically done is I have added a second train for cotton here because we need more cloth. Cloth is becoming a bit of a problem, so we've got 2 trains doing that now. I'm not fussed about doing it on this line here because the cotton is way down there somewhere, much closer to the station. That's just the distance travelled. That's what I mean by, what if I went, well, hey, every 4, which is where we put these so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we put in these one here. So every train here could have, say, 2 carriages to it, and then all the trains for these ones here have 4 carriages, and then all the trains here have 6 carriages, and so on and so forth up, and then eventually you get to trains with like 20 carriages. But that would be fine because they're having to deliver a lot more in one go. So yeah, and then you just adjust the train stations accordingly so that they can always drop off their goods, or don't have to worry about it. Leave the train stations as they are, dropping off only 100 or 200 items, and by the time a train gets there, drops it off and comes back again, it's done. So but right now I've got multiple trains in multiple places. That would require a bit of a rework of my thing, but it'd work because you'd have signal tag here for this here. So you go, right, bread, so that is the tag, bread, bread and bread, and you know we have 3 trains that go to bread. So that's an option I could follow if I needed to. Flour's not an issue. You see here for animal feed, I've actually done this here. I think we've got 3 trains now grabbing animal feed and bringing them back, which means this is obviously running out because it's now running out process, so it's a knock-on effect. But I kind of need to do it to get this working, but that's not working because this is still running, but this will eventually fill up, I think. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of putting the tags in again, but for drop-off rather than for pick-up, just numbering them on the pickups. We don't do that, we just do drop-off. So that should still work because we've dropped the tags there. Let me test this. Let me test this. So let's see here. So that's a cotton train. We have an animal feed train there that doesn't have enough animal feed in, but that's because we're coming up. So and this is tagged 05. Interesting. It's an older train. Yeah, some of these are older trains. But how about we tag that instead to egg? That is an egg train. And then we go up here and we go, this one is tagged with the word milk. We go up here and we tag this one with the word egg. Does mean I need to find the next animal feed train. That's grain. That's the egg train. Cotton, grain, There is. Then we take this one with milk. Okay. I could leave them at 5 carriages, that would still work. And we still use the rules of stop if you're full. So they're not driving around for no reason. But what we could do then at here, we could extend these rails and actually add more carriages if required, if it seems that things aren't working that way. So instead of having 2 trains delivering cotton here, I'd have 1 train but with many more carriages on it. I don't know how far up I am on the well side of things. But essentially we can figure that out from here. So anyone that delivers to these 2 here, so anything that is the first 8 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, first 16 items I should say, would have 2 carriages on it. So they'd be moving around much more, but they're much closer, so they're okay. And then anyone that has to come to this one here, so the grain, the sugar, that sort of thing, they'd have 4 carriages. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work because these are pickups. That would only work for the drop-off. No. So I can't figure out that way. I'd have to actually physically count. So if we went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So our milk one would have 10 carriages. 14. Our egg one would have 14 carriages. If I did it that way. If I did it 1 carriage per go, I don't really want to do 1 carriage per go. But that has worked to spread this out. That's good. So yeah, this is now going to spread out between these 2 here. So maybe I should just do that. Every time I build a thing, I should filter this to say, hey, you're going to get a train. This is your train. And you go. And then if I discover, like for instance, it's just not keeping up, we could build a second train, or we could choose to extend the platform and add more trains on, more carriages, if there's space. Because then it's going to evenly spread the goods, rather than, like here for instance, like coal. This is coal. This is full at the moment because obviously we were okay for coal. But if we were struggling for coal, which we kind of are right now actually, but when this all gets burned up, this is going to be the last place that gets coal. All these coal trains are going to go to all the ones back here first and try and fill them up, and they'll all be going with like 1 or 2 goods in. But if I filter these to have names, then they're going to be sort of stuck here doing that. So I like that. I like that. Let's do this. Do cake. Cake. Let's highlight that and copy it. Yes. You are cake. You are cake. You are cake. Awesome. And then we go, you are the cake train. You are the sugar cake train. You are the butter cake train. We don't have a cake train for eggs yet. We don't have any egg trains yet. And you are the coal cake train. Blech. So any coal that you pick up, you will only deliver to here. Now I don't know if that actually works, because if a station isn't tagged with a signal, I think it ignores the train tag and just pushes it along. Yeah, it must do, because otherwise we'd have these trains that are tagged with numbers. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I need to test that. I need to test that. There is a way to test that. There is a way to test that, and I can do it with iron ore, because we have a few places requesting iron ore. Like we've got one here, and then I know we've got one further up for nails. So let's find an iron ore train. There is one right here. Okay, and let's let's tag this one with nails. Or nail. I think it's, is it nail? Is it iron ore, egg, nails? I'm going to use the proper word. So nails. So that means you're not making one nail. So my whole joke for mini series of the whole, my god, that shoe has 2 giant nails in it. It's actually 2 boxes of nails because they are nails. So assumedly that's a box. So if I tag that with nails and let that go, because that's not tagged when you go up there, you do. Okay, so that has to be tagged as well. So if we tag this with iron plate, iron plate, iron plate, no, iron plate, and then same for you. And then we'll tag that train, iron plates, making sure to keep all the capital letters and everything right, and also making sure you don't accidentally push enter at the end, because that, you see, is a double line signal tag and doesn't match that signal tag, and it doesn't match, it doesn't work. I've come a cropper to that before, so you need to make sure you put it on a single line. It would be nice to be able to multiple tag them by, say, like a comma or something, and they'll read multiple tags. That would be a very nice option, but okay, so now you will go and get more iron ore, and then you'll come back. Actually, we'll tag you with iron plate, and we'll tag this one, who's conveniently right next to us, with nails. And then let's go up the line and make sure there isn't any more iron ore taken out of the line anywhere. So that's grain. That's coal, potato, and flour. There, that's milk. Nope, nothing there. Yeah, I think the only other one is this one here, which is for nails. So I think this is going to work better because it's a much more even distribution. And I've said that already, and I'm repeating myself, but I'm just nails. There we go. Okay, so that means now each train that we associate will be going to a stop and back in, which is kind of how I wanted it originally. So this train will always come to this place here. And we can look at this as well and be like, well, hold on, let's see. So this requires 1 fuel and 1 iron ore, but we know that coal is 4 fuel. So that train is delivering 4 times the amount that the iron ore train is delivering. So we could adjust this and move this station over and go, well, you only need 2 carriages. You need 2 minecarts on the back of you to deliver coal, because coal's just not required, and that will save us fuel as well. Doesn't need as much fuel. It could leave 5 on there, that'd be fine. But in this situation, if we shorten that train, we could shorten this track and enlargen this track, or embiggen this track is the actual term, embiggen, and allow more carriages for the ore. So if we had 1 cart of coal, we should have 4 carts of ore, and that would balance the load in here, because it's using 1 iron ore and it's using 4 coal, which is 1 fuel. So then 2 carts for coal would be 8 carts of iron ore, and you could get down to that sort of rationale. I'm not fussed about that. If I'm honest with you, I just want to get goods moving. I'm not that worried about that sort of thing. But you could do that if you wanted to get the everything balanced and everything correct. You could do that. You could accommodate the trains by having different size stations. That wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I think that will work. And of course, if you miss a train, it doesn't matter. So long as you've tagged it, so long as you've item filtered it and not tagged it. Well, even if you have tagged it, if you miss a station or a sorter, it will still get pushed down there. Providing the item filter is correct, the train will go, hey, I can go down there because I'm there. Yeah, my tag doesn't match, but my item filter does. Or more importantly, it's not that my tag doesn't match, it's that this has no tag. If this had any other tag, it would ignore it. So So yeah, so if there's no tag, it just goes, oh, it's null, I'll ignore it. Don't do that. Null's a programming term for nothing. It means nothing. Although they wouldn't be, yeah, I suppose you should do a null check on these. Yeah, because null means it doesn't exist. Whereas if it did exist, it would be blank text. It would be no text. So it's not null. Programming's weird. Yeah, something can exist and be empty, or it cannot exist, and that causes problems usually. So I would, my guess would be all the signal tags do exist, and they're just empty. So it checks for an empty string. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's not go down that route because that's confusing for everyone who's a non-programmer. Sorry, but we have eggs now. We have 66 eggs, which is awesome. And we have more animal feed coming up because this train's going to go down and only come back here, which is awesome. I've just noticed the agent triggers has a worker. Oh, only works on... oh, cool. I've never used agent triggers for anything other than trains and minecarts. Well, yeah, that's the same thing. I've never used it for anything along those. Well, you could run a single path and say, hey, if an agent came down here, if a wagon came down this path, close the path because it's busy. You could also potentially have that for buildings as well. You could surround a building in a fence and have an agent trigger at one point, and if an agent goes into that building, you could send a signal going, hey, something's coming, something's happening. Because someone has come to pick up some goods or something, whatever. So I can see why that could be useful. Okay, anyway, let's not go on other things there. Let's get our cake going because we are close. We are very, very close. So, I do think I have messed this up ever so slightly. Well, I kind of had to because of the trains. It would be nice if the packages could be one further back. Which I can do, because I could move those stations. Well, I can't move the stations because we're not allowed to move stuff now. But I could turn the options on and move them stations back down one. Then I line the packages up with here, which means all this works like that. Oh, and that's something I did off camera as well. I put all the milk to all the places for butter, because we had loads of milk. And I thought, yeah, why not? And for some reason I had 2 trains delivering milk as well. I don't know why. I had 2 trains delivering milk and I didn't have this agent trigger set up, so they blocked the track. It's the only reason I noticed I had 2 trains. But yeah, so if I can move these packages back by 1, it would line up with this, and then that would fit everything here, because I kind of need this 3 space here to get... oh, God. I need all of these to deliver to kitchens. How am I going to do this? Let's build a train. Let's build a couple of trains. Let's get them going. Okay, so did I put in the train I said I was going to put? Yes, I did. I built 2. I built 2 new animal feed carts, trains. So they're bringing animal feed up here. So there's one of them now. So let's build a locomotive. Let's put 5 carts on the back of him. Let's tag him with egg, and let's signal tag him with cake with a capital Z, and say go. And the good thing is that now they do go, because trains had a change that if they have no fuel in them, they want to travel at a very slow pace to get fuel. They'll never stop, which I like that change. I think that is really, really useful change, because it means that, especially in my case, it's not going to ruin my entire system and have it all block up when the train runs out of fuel. I have seen them all come back, however, I guess one of my trains ran out of fuel like up here somewhere, and then when the other trains bump into it, they stop, start, and burn off a lot of fuel. And I had like 6 or 7 trains in a row that were all out of fuel, then picked up fuel as I went through. But it worked. It carried on moving. It wasn't dead. So they'll both start moving. They'll both pick up goods. They'll go. everything will be awesome. So your cake, you're done there. Go back up to our cake. You're tagged with cake, you are tagged with cake, awesome. So they'll do that there, okay. So I don't know if that's centered or not, doesn't matter. In fact, it kind of does. Let's delete that. And let's copy something like this. Put it in there. There we go. That center. Okay. Move that back. It could be closer, it doesn't matter. It's kind of awkward because I need this much space in between it. I need at least 3 in order to get this round if I want to have that many. I don't think I'm going to for the cake because I don't know how the hell I'm going to get all 5 of these into one kitchen, let alone into 3, 6, 9, 3, 9. 3, 6, yeah. That would be complete spaghetti. Some of these can travel on chutes, some can't. Also, it takes 10 seconds to make. So I do want loads of them. But I need to have input and, and the flour and the eggs and So let me see here. Where was one where I had 3? So this was 3, and this was how much was going on to get 3 from 3 from 3. So I need to now get 5 into there. Any ideas? It's going to be something like this, isn't it? I haven't updated these. I really should do. I should really update these to use this system where the stations give to each other. The drawback to this one, the benefit to this one is that it works really well and it does eventually self-balance. It's a bit uneven to start with. It does eventually self-balance. But I can't do that here. And even these all up, because I need 4 outputs on you, 4 outputs on you, 4 there, 4 here, 4 there, 4 here, 4 there, 4 here, 4 there. Each one of these would have 5 outputs going to the one next door. So you would be transferring your goods to there, and you would be expecting 4 goods back into that station. And then I'd have to have 5 goods coming out the front going into the packages. And then from the packages, I need 5 goods coming out into the kitchens. It's doable with multiple layers, but I've got these trains in the way. So I can't, I mean, I connect above them. I can connect above them, that's not a problem, but I mean, you do take 10 seconds. You need 4. Potentially I could have all 5 of these go into one packager, and then the one packager split off. You'd have 5 outputs per kitchen. And if I put 3 kitchens next to each other, that's 5 out. That's not doable. I don't have enough space for it. So how do I do this? Couldn't do a ring. A ring wouldn't work because I'd get 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. So let me put in. So if I want the same situation, like that, I want it like that. Say, for instance, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, that's all going to move back one. Yeah, that's not important. So that's how I want that, and they're all going to be making cake. Okay, and then they can all output their cake into the center here like this. That's not an issue. So the center's fine. I can't really move them any closer than that because otherwise it's going to cause hassle for this inner layer. If I move these in by one, well, I can move them in by one. That work. I can move those in by one. That would work. So I can either move the outside 2 in or those in by one. Could move those forward 1 and that would be okay. It is every 10 seconds, so also we could potentially have them a little bit differently laid out. But I need the flower from here to get to each and every one of them. Now I could have the flower come up and then just circle around, and that would work. And then I have the sugar do the same, and then we're out of space and we have to go to the inside track, which again isn't really a problem, but we've only got one layer on the inside we can touch. And by layer I mean you can put down a row like that, so that would have, say, the flower on it, and then you put down a row above like that. Come on. Yeah, like that. That would have, say, sugar on it, and then you go to the inside lane, and you go, because you can't go any higher than that. So you go to the inside lane, and you have one more going around the inside. That's 3 lots of goods. But that's not enough. I need more than that. I could use some of the new logic blocks. It's just dawned on me. I could use some of the new logic blocks because we have a new block. I might have a use for this already. Oh, this could be awesome. In logistics, we have the merger, and the merger will allow you to merge 3 at different ratios. So I could say, hey, would you take 4 from this belt and put it on, then take 2 from that belt, and then take 1 from this belt, which is the butter, and go round. And then I'd say from the egg one, would you take 2 from the egg one, and then it's 2 fuel, but we already know coal is 1, so technically you can take 1 from the coal. But then coal I might have on a chute going around doing the same thing anyway. In fact, the coal might go on the inside track just to get it out of the way. So I'd have to put these 4 onto 2 different belts, and that's doable. That is doable. I could have, so I'm looking down here at the recipes. I could have 4 flour and 1 butter, and then the next belt could have 2 sugar and 2 eggs. And I'll do it in that ratio because then it's going to be better. And then you have the belts. It's going to be better because it's 4 and 1 is 5 and 2 and 2 is 4, rather than 4 and 2 is 6 and 1 and 2 is 3. That would mean the belts would be moving at different speeds to make it more even and separate them out. And then you just have this line, like here, comes out of these packages and goes up here, down, around, and back up, and you have splitters on them. You know, go feed this one, then that one, that one. It would feed them in order around, but then you could have like these 2 do it the other way. I really wish I'd put coal in the centre, although coal would be better up there anyway. Anyway, I'm going to figure this out and we shall come back in the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope to see you again next time, and until then, as always, have fun.